seen your headline on The Daily Show. You see them all over YouTube. I want you to put your hands together. Put your hands together. Put your hands together. Give it up for Josh Johnson.
I've been in Honolulu for a week, and I have been dressed like this the whole time. In case you were wondering, yeah, this is what I wear all the time. There are people who, recognized me on the street, said, hey, and then there were people who didn't recognize me at all and said, hey, are you all right? Like, something going on? Aren't you hot? And, yeah. But it's been beautiful. It's been amazing to just walk around, see everything, meet people. Man, y'all are very chill. Like, I know it's a stereotype, but it's also happening, and it is just coming from someone who lives in New York. It is genuinely jarring. It's like, this is wild. Do y'all even know this? Everybody's so chill, which I understand. It's a beautiful place. This is an incredible place. It truly is. You're still on planet Earth, though. So, like, do you know what I mean? Like, a little disrespectful to not be freaking out a touch more. Yeah, I mean, it's charming, but only to a point. It's genuine. Y'all live, even here is so beautiful, but also this is dangerous too. Y'all don't seem bothered at all. This is active volcanoes. There are active volcanoes, actors, the ones that do it. The ones that volcane are here. And y'all are like, do you want to go see it? Because it might do it. Wouldn't that be crazy if it did it while we were there and then we saw it do it? Yeah, it would be crazy. It would be insane. No, I think I'm good. I think I'm good watching from the comfort of my TV. It's like, no, you gotta go to witness. It's like, you don't have to be a witness to everything. Sometimes you could just hear a story and it's fine. Active volcanoes. No one's bothered. No one, wow. I've been places where nothing was gonna happen and they were freaking out more. Do you know what I mean? Like, I have friends in San Francisco. And those friends in San Francisco, like, any day now, we could slip into the ocean. We could just break off. We just snap like a Twix. We could just... All right, I mean, if you really thought that, why are you paying a mortgage? That's a little wild, right? That you think you're gonna slip into the ocean, but also, you gotta do something. No, it blows my mind. No, it's been so cool to be here. I had no idea what it would be like to see this many roosters roam free. Look, you're gonna have to be patient with me, all right? Because I didn't know. There's a lot I didn't know. This trip has been teaching me a lot I didn't know. I didn't know most things. So I get here and I see a rooster, but I'm like, oh, he probably got loose. Like, I hope somebody find their rooster. I'm like, ooh, because I hate to see, you know what I mean? Like, I hate to see like a lost pet or animal companion just out in the wild like that. And it was walking on pavement like it owned it. And then I heard like a rooster, and it wasn't. I really thought, this is how you know I grew up on cartoons. I really thought they only made noise like in the morning. I was positive that was like the nature's alarm clock. I didn't know they were like dogs and they could just go whenever they wanted. So now I'm waking up and like, I'm not saying I hear a rooster every time I wake up. I'm just saying like I wake up and because of the jet lag, I live in New York. So because of the jet lag, I'm waking up earlier, just naturally than I would otherwise. And so I'm waking up and then you might hear a rooster at the time that I wake up because it's very early. Like the sun is not out yet, right? And then the sun is out. And then I'm walking around and I hear a rooster again and I'm like, that can't be right. I'm positive that's not right because I know it's been all day today. And far be it from me, like whenever an animal is very good at something, I try to just trust that. Like I understand the groundhog thing, we kind of made that up, that's not exactly right, but I still check to see what the groundhog said, right? Because people used to go off of it. Now with the roosters seem completely unreliable. I understand this is the rooster's whole thing, but I will go ahead and start looking for myself. And the way that y'all just don't even acknowledge them, I felt like I was on drugs. I was looking around at the roosters and I was like, all right, so nobody gonna come get. You try to call animal control of the roosters and they hang up. This is very upsetting. Why would you? I didn't know roosters were like rabbits. Like maybe if you just let 2 roosters hang out for too long, you get 8 roosters and then 16 and then 64. And then no matter where you go, there's a rooster doing, I guess nothing. I don't know what they do. 5 o'clock, I heard a rooster and I was like, oh, poor baby. He gotta be blind. That's what I said. No, don't do that. That's him guessing. He guessing right now. And then I realized I was completely off base. They don't just stop making noise because of the time of day. Wow. You learn something every day you should already know. That's deeply embarrassing. It's been beautiful. It's so beautiful, and everybody is so like laid back. Not every single person, but like as a general state is laid back. The people who I see freaking out, the people who I really see freaking out are not from here. You know what I mean? Like the people. There are a lot of people. Like you could tell you could tell who's like from here and not from here also by how there's a look. There's a look in the eyes of a person who like when somebody just got here, they seem like they could be from here because they're so excited to be here. When somebody just got here, they're like, oh wow. And once again, just outside looking in, y'all do that too. Like y'all do have just the locals I've met have been like, man, what a day. And then the last day hits. It's time to go home, and you can tell it's a different look on their face. Their eyes different because they finally got the bill from whatever. Same mannerisms too, just like. Oh, but it's been beautiful to just walk around and see so many people that know how to swim. That is. Swimming. Okay, swimming for me has been trial and error. It's been a trial of errors. And it's like whenever people are like, people don't want to believe that I don't fully believe that I can swim. I'll talk to people and they'll be like, yeah, but you could like swim to save your life though, right? And I'm like, I don't want to find out. I feel like that's one of the main reasons I stay on land is because I'm not sure. What a test. What a test. What a test to fail. And then now you know. Now I know. Now I know I can't swim. That's a crazy thing. But you could swim to save your life, right? Isn't that swimming? Isn't that the whole swimming? Whether you're swimming for fun or you're swimming to save your life, aren't you still the same amount of upright over the water? That's a crazy thing to ask somebody. Imagine somebody's on crutches. Someone's on crutches and you're like, yeah, but you can like run to save your life, right? It's like, maybe. Why would I want to find that out though? Why would I put myself in a running situation? Why would I on crutches walk up and slap a bigger man than me? Just to see if maybe, who knows? It might be like having 3 legs, having these crutches and being on 1 foot. And then you see people surfing. I love watching people surf at home. When I'm at home, I'll watch any surf documentary. I love surfers. I think it's so cool. I love watching them do tricks. I love watching it. You could just be regular swimming. One of the things I've had in the background before is just like a beachy waves, like looping video for hours, and it was people just like, whether they were swimming or surfing, they were all just around each other in the water. I personally, this is just a me thing, this is not a reflection on anybody else, I cannot watch it, I can't, if I'm at the beach and I'm watching people surf, I'm like, how are they not running over every head they come across? Like when you're watching on TV and the camera is just on them, you're like, look at how coordinated they are. They're so cool. Look at them move. Man, I wish my hips moved like that. But then when you're watching and you're like, well, there's somebody's head. Oh, they missed. Okay. I watched my friends. One time I went to a beach with my friends. My friends went swimming and they came back and they were like, you sure you don't want to get in? And I was like, you keep asking me if I could swim to save my life, but then also ask me if I want to get in. I think I'm good. I'm good on the beach right here where it's level, where if I drown, it's my fault. But you're over there having a great time swimming. Yay, backstroke, everything. You didn't even see. There was a dude surfing around. You almost died 3 times. I saw it. He almost ran you right over. I don't even know how that would work. It doesn't even, like, here's the thing. I don't know how surfing works. You're about to find that out. But, it doesn't even seem that bad if you got, ran over by a surfboard in the water that was past you until you get to those 3 teeth in the back. That seems like it would hurt. Because I'm not saying the board's gonna hit them in the head. I'm just saying they're, coming up the same time as somebody's passing, and everyone is so fluid with it. That's stressful. I know it's a gorgeous dance, but I'm watching this dude, just one twist of his ankle, he could have taken out 2 people right there. So you see the big waves that people surf on, right? Those huge waves that people surf on, and then they're coming down from the wave. I don't know why. Maybe I was never paying attention in the movies or in the competitions I'd watch on TV, but there's people in there. That's crazy. Why isn't that a sport? That seems like it should be a sport to get in the middle of the wave and not drown. You'll see these big waves, and then there's people surfing the wave, and then there's just a guy in the middle like, did he even mean to get in? That's too much going with the flow. I'm already worried about flat water. If I got caught in a wave, I can't even fathom. If I got caught in a wave and started shooting up, I already can't swim. I can't also drown up. Imagine 10-foot wave, you inside. Which way do you swim when you're up? If you're in the wave, if you're here, where are you supposed to go? You're not even caught in like an undertow getting sucked down. You are about to shoot up in the air. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how it works. Ooh, I'd be so embarrassed if I drown up. I don't even know if they let you into heaven, because you would be explaining like, listen, I was in the water, all right? But then there was really sick wave. There was a guy on it, crushing it. But I was in the middle, and I was real high up in the air. I could actually see that I was like above land. But there was too much water in front of my face for me to take a breath. Maybe, if I had been snorkeling, I would have had that stick, and I could have leaned out and sucked some air. But alas, I was regular swimming. You can tell I'm not from here because I'll go to the beach and I'm not having a beachy time like everybody else. I go to the beach, I don't get in the water. That already probably looks suspicious. That looks like I'm just there to watch, which is, people watching at the beach is like sweet unless you're doing nothing. If you also went to swim and now you're like, look at everybody having a good time, you know what I mean? Or if you were like building a sandcastle and then you're like, look at everybody, oh, it's so beautiful and everything. Or if you were surfing and then you take a break, look at everybody. But when you're me and you just went to go, and you just standing on the beach dressed like this, I'm sure I look like a ghost from something. I'm sure I probably look like the ghost to somebody out there surfing of like a hit and run they did or something. Just because I don't know anybody out there, so it's not like I'm waving. I'm just... No. I go to the beach exactly dressed like this and it makes everybody uncomfortable. I'm sure they think I'm the police. I'm positive. This one time I went to the beach and I was just walking. I was truly minding my own business. I even stepped out of my comfort zone. I even took the shoes and socks off. I know you thought that I was doing that already, and I was not. No, when I say dress like this, I mean fully. I mean like head to toe like this. And so I had taken my shoes and my socks off. I was walking, feeling the sand under my feet. I was like, man, I get what people are, wow. This is nice. This is as nice as they say. This is beautiful. It's all happening, right? And then as I take a step, all right, this wasn't my fault. This was not. You gonna judge me? And that's fine. I've accepted I'm gonna be judged, but this is not my fault. Okay, I'm walking, right? And then I feel something, okay? I feel something, and it's not like glass. I didn't cut my foot. That would have been better. I was walking, and then I feel something. I take a step, and I feel something, and I realize I can't take another step. I feel it around my ankle, and I can't take another step. And somebody had buried themselves in the sand and then grabbed my ankle, right? And grabbed my ankle, right? And so grabbed it good too. Like this is crazy. This is the most Mad Max thing I've ever seen in my life. Already buried in the sand, but then grabbed my ankle and I turn around and I see a hand and nothing else. And so I'm like, ha, ha, ha! I scream, right? I scream, okay? And so I'm walking, grab my ankle, I stop, I look, I scream. All this very reasonable so far, right? All of this is on the other person. Okay, so then I try to pull away. I can't because no quad strength, I don't know. But like I can't pull away like I want to. And so then as I try to pull away, I try to pull away twice, and this is still out of panic. I still don't even know what's happening really. I just know that there's a hand around my ankle and there's nothing else, right? And then I finally turn around and see the hand and keep screaming. So I have screamed for too long now, right? Like I should have processed what was happening. So then, out of fear, I start stomping the hand off my other foot, right? So it's right here, and I'm right. So I stomp a while. Now, to be fair to me, they did hold on, all right? So then I'm stomping. Then they sit up, right? They did sit up, which should have clued me into exactly what was happening, but in the moment only did terrify me more. So then I went from stomping the head, and I did kick them in the head, okay? I did kick him in the head, and then I ran, right? And I ran, and while I was running, it was when I was processing, like, oh, okay, probably not a zombie. A zombie's hand wouldn't have had more body attached to it. A zombie probably wouldn't have sat up and been a whole person that I kicked. Also wild to do to a stranger. Like if it had been my friend, they still would have got their hands stomped, right? That was anybody. But then when they sat up and I was like, more? No. So I like the beach. I like it for all of you. I like the beach for everyone who likes going to the beach. And I'll go to the beach and I'll watch you have fun, but that's where it ends for me. Never taking my shoes off again at the beach. Yeah, people are like, but you'll get sand in your shoes. Yeah. Or I could take them off and get hands on my feet. What would you rather? If someone truly came to you and they were like, listen, you could have one random claw on your ankle and foot, or you could have some sand in your shoe. I think you take the sand every time. No. Oof. I got friends that love to swim, and I'm happy for them. I'm very happy for it. It looks fun when they do it. Sometimes they'll go snorkeling. That's when you like, I don't know, like almost drown, kind of. Like I don't even fully understand snorkeling because like you got the tube, but you're not sucking any air. It's not scuba diving. You got the tube, but then what's the tube for? Because you're just gonna exhale. You could have just done that through your mouth. I don't know how to do it. I'm sure I'm wrong. I'm positive I'm wrong, but I'm saying when I saw it, when they went under, I was like, you don't need that around your mouth. I hope you don't suck in, because that's gonna be water. That's wild. That maybe you don't want any bubbles in your face? Is that why you brought the thing down to up the side? Are you trying to convince the fish you're a fish? Is that the plan? No, if they see me breathing out of my mouth all human-like, they'll swim away. I want them to like me. I got friends that'll go scuba dive. Scuba diving looks very fun. That's when you like try to drown. That's when you're like, I bet I can get lower. I bet I can get so low that even the water pressure is kind of affecting me. I didn't even know this. People who go that deep scuba dive, like people who do the real deep stuff that look like it's from Mission Impossible. You know that stuff that's like an action movie where they're like, you're gonna have to go deeper than anyone's gone before to see this particular fish. And they go down that deep and then they come up, then they gotta get in like a tank so that they don't explode. I don't know how some people create a definition of fun. I've never been almost about to explode ever. And I've had a pretty great life. The idea you would go down so deep that now you had a tank. Tank was on you. Then you went down. Now you come back up and they're like, you need to get in a tank immediately. Which I believe, these people are experts, but in my head I'm like, but if they came up, aren't they good? Like, you would think, I don't know, it's like you're already up here. So just don't take a deep breath, I guess. Just do some little ones. But then they gotta get in a tank so that they level out, so that they can walk around again in not the ocean. Scuba diving just seems wild to me. Because then you got the tank, and then they tell you how much air is in the tank, and you just gotta believe them. Nobody's ever been wrong. A tank's never been, because they'll be like, no, it's also on the tank. And I'm like, yeah, but like, you ever in a car and it says it's not on E, but then it does stop. And you're like, oh, this needle isn't as precise as I thought it was. Which is upsetting for a needle. You would think as soon as it hits, because I've been in some people's cars, especially those old cars too, where like the needle hitting the E, I would even say it. I'd be like driving with my dad, right? My dad would be picking me up from school or something, and I'd be like, oh, it's on E, just so you know. And he's like, no, we good. And I would say, Father, I know I'm 7, but from what I've heard, I know I'm not a driver. I'm not a driver. From what I've heard, E means empty. It looks like we're very close to empty and we're not already at home. No, we're good. It's gotta go past the needle to really be out. Just because it's touching the E doesn't mean we're at E. It gotta go past the E, and then that's E. And I'm like, oh, then why didn't they put the E there? Seems odd that they put the E nowhere near where the E is. It's like, that's just the way cars made, son. I was like, Dad, look. I know I'm little, but I can handle it. You can tell me right now if we're poor, all right? That logic doesn't make sense at all. No, it's on E, but it's like not on E. I'm like, what are you saving up for? Because, you see people, I'm sure, y'all see people all over, Midwest, Northeast, the South, the western parts of the country, all these people. All these people freaking out, and not without reason. You saw leading up to the election, eggs are $12. We had no idea. For everything that we complain about, things are like twice as expensive for y'all. How How are y'all not complaining every day? I can't believe that doesn't make you angry to see someone from Indianapolis be like, you know, the apple juice was $6 before and it's $8 today. That doesn't seem fair or right. Meanwhile, here it's $22. And not only is it $22, there's one jug. Like even when you got the money, you gotta make sure you get there first. And still, how? And still, y'all are like, you know. With enough time, with enough patience, with enough elbow grease, you'll make your own apple juice. You just gotta... Oh, sometimes when I'm upset, sometimes when life is getting me down, you know, something really grinds my gears, I just try to take it out and try to exercise it in a productive way, you know what I mean? So whenever I'm really angry, I'll get something and I'll just like grind something down, right? And just grind it down over and over again. And then I started to do that with the apples, and then I made apple juice, and now I'm fine. What? No, it's wild. It's wild. Yeah, this is wow. Like I know I'm still on planet Earth, but whoa. You know what I mean? It does feel like, and I'm really not saying this in a way that is just trying to like butter you up or anything, but this does feel like a different dimension, because the 7-Eleven is like nice. You need to understand. Like, even though you're clapping and you're cheering, I don't even think you understand what you're clapping and cheering for. The 7-Eleven being nice. The 7-Eleven being nice is like... it's like if you turned the AR-15 into bubbles. It's like, what? First of all, how? Second, this is not what this is supposed to do. This is just 7-Eleven. I can tell you right now, in every other part of America, the back of 7-Eleven specifically is for drug use. And look, maybe that's happening here and everybody just has a real good attitude about it. I have no idea. But the 7-Eleven... The 7-Eleven in New York, okay, so look, the 7-Eleven in New York, there was what, this is just an example of how bad it can get, right? There are some places where people who are in any way sort of down on their luck, truly unfortunate, truly having like a rough go of everything, will try to find some way. They need some money. They need something, right? And so they will hang out outside of 7-Eleven. And one of the things that some people do, especially in New York, is they will hold the door open for you when you go in. They'll open the door for you when you walk out, right? All in the hope that maybe if you have spare change, or if you could get them something, that you will give them something for that thing. Let me try to do you this small service in return for something, right? Because they don't have anything, you know? And that's something that's like common practice in New York at plenty of places. And the 7-Eleven that I went into in New York, I saw a guy, he was standing in front of the door. He had his hand on the door handle. And I like nodded at him. I was like, hey, how's it going? And then I went to walk into the 7-Eleven and I hit the door. I hit the door because this man wasn't opening it for people. He was charging people to get in. Which is frankly a better business model. That is pretty good. No, you go into a 7-Eleven You go into a 7-Eleven in New York City. Let's say they just mopped. Let's say the best of circumstances, they just mopped, right? There's a wet floor sign, but what's that gonna do? What's that really gonna do? They just put those out so they don't get sued. What is that really meant to do? It's a wet floor sign over there. I walked in, it's wet right here. And if you fall, if you slip in a 7-Eleven, if you slip in a 7-Eleven in New York City, you have to burn whatever part of you fell. Because I know they mopped, but they didn't mop to clean it. They mopped to move around whatever was the reason for mopping in the first place. So if you walk in and you see that wet floor sign all the way over there, and you don't know that means the entire floor, everything in here is wet now, and you walk, whoa, and then you slip, and then you fall on your back, you will want to die. Walk into a 7-Eleven here. People smile. I know this is common for you. I know that you don't understand what the difference is. I want you to imagine, goodness forbid, but let's imagine that you went to jail. And when you got there, everybody smiled. Based on your understanding of jail, that would make you more comfortable. Based on what you think about jail, if you walked in and everybody smiled at you specifically, you would think, uh-oh. And so forgive me if being conditioned by New York City 7-Elevens, walk into a 7-Eleven here and seeing people smile, I don't return it right away. I'm shocked, I'm suspicious. If you walk into a 7-Eleven in New York and everyone is smiling at you, that 7-Eleven is being robbed right now. These are not sincere smiles. These are the smiles of people who don't want to be shot. This is smiles. You walk into a 7-Eleven in New York and they're smiling at you, you run. You run, because there's not, it's a, no, people smile at you at 7-Eleven and they aren't even saying anything through their teeth. It's a genuine smile, it's a silent. And they say welcome, and say hello. A smile at a 7-Eleven in New York. Call somebody. It's one with a gun. But I think the other two in on it. Hurry. Not just a nice 7-Eleven with nice people. You got different stuff, which is unfair. You got whole flavors. You got whole flavors I can't pronounce. You go into a 7-Eleven here, and you gotta understand. I've only been to the 7-Elevens I've been to, so. Sorry that I'm uncultured. Everything at the 7-Eleven I'm used to is not like this. You get in there and you get the what is this? Hoapia? Hopia. We go to a 7-Eleven and you get a Halpia Slurpee. I saw the letters. And I was like, how we haul. I didn't even say it right just now. Get the Leehing. These are flavors I'm not used to. I didn't know these flavors had come out. I'm used to going to 7-Eleven and getting some of the most dystopian Mountain Dew type flavors you've ever heard in your life. Just a color to a thing that doesn't exist the way that it says in the flavor. You go to 7-Eleven in New York, you get like a, I don't know, black elephant Slurpee or something like that. Just something that just sound wrong. Whole time you pulling it, the machine doesn't even want to let it out right away. You pull that thing and the machine is like, And then after a while, you hold it open long enough and the thing is spinning. Finally, the machine is like, if you insist. And when it hit the cup, it doesn't sound right. When they hit the cup, you're like, something hard inside, something soft. I know sounds. This is not all liquid. Not even all ice. Something, then y'all can put 3 rocks and 4 paper clips in here. I can tell from the way it's falling, because it falls with no integrity. It falls with no real consistency at all. How? How? McDonald's is good here. How'd you pull that off? Same company. This is the same, it's one company. That's crazy. That's crazy they would bring all the good McDonald's here and they would make us eat slop everywhere else. McDonald's in New York City is where you do heroin. I don't mean the back like a 7-Eleven. I mean in the restaurant portion of the McDonald's. I mean you order your Big Mac and then you sit down at your table to do your heroin. The Big Mac is just a formality. It was crazy. I was in New York. I was going to a McDonald's, not by choice. My girlfriend wanted to go to McDonald's, and so we went into a McDonald's, and all she ordered was an ice cream cone, one ice cream cone, one cone with ice cream on it. You would think that there's no way the devil could get involved. It's one ice cream cone. It's ice cream. It's ice cream with a cone. It's simple. We've seen it 1,000,000 times. It's not revolutionary. And they handed her ice cream with a cone. And before she could even take a bite, she felt something. And she turned the cone, and there was a Band-Aid. Unless we're having a nightmare, how? How do you just have them in the back ready to go? In case anybody thought they were gonna enjoy McDonald's in New York City? This is crazy. I just want to let y'all know the planet y'all live on. Because nothing, nothing seems to get to y'all. Not like fundamentally, not like real. I'm stressed out for y'all sometimes. I don't even live here, but I remember 2017. I remember in 2017 when that fake missile thing. I remember. How is this still a place? How is it? If that had happened in New York City, real estate prices would have dropped because we'd all be dead. Everyone would have. That's crazy. Imagine what was even said in those moments. You get that text, you finally turn to your spouse and you're like, it really hadn't been right between us for a long time. And I want to get that out there because I don't want to die with anything on my heart. And then 15 minutes later, you sitting there, look, everybody said stuff. Everybody said something that they meant but didn't mean if we were gonna live. How? Wow. I can't imagine getting that message at work. You at work. You might not even like it here. You at work, and then you get the false alarm. You get the, hey, no, you're actually good. Hey, somebody pressed the wrong button. That blows that's how I can tell y'all are actually really good people. The fact that thing happened and so many bosses went unpunched. Y'all thought you were gonna die. And nobody punched their boss right in the nose. Nobody, this is it. This is it. Because the other message didn't go out right away. People thought they were gonna die for like 8 minutes or something. And that's if you looked again. That's like if you checked. You know, some people reacted the way I would react. There were some people that like found, manhole cover, jumped in, everything. All right, okay, yeah, you jumped in. There's some sewage, it's stinky, but you would have lived. You would have, you know what I mean? You would have lived. Then there's other people that, wow. I'm not judging, but truly no initiative. Like, truly, I heard stories from people that were like, yeah, it went off and I just finished my TV dinner. And, you just kept eating the TV dinner that you weren't enjoying. They were like, yeah, I'd rather die full. And then the fact that like there wasn't like a riot. The fact that there wasn't a riot over the person who pressed the message went out, hey, sorry, we pressed the wrong button. And then as a state, y'all were like, stuff happens. It's not like that big a deal. I don't know why everybody's stressing out. Yeah, buttons are confusing. Sometimes I press the wrong button. It's not that big of a deal. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I just have to call a divorce lawyer and he's gonna hold everybody to what they said while That's just not me. That's not me at all. I was in an elevator for too long one time. I told a stranger, I was like, listen, I want you to call this number. This is my mama, all right? In case I don't make it out, I want you to... We were stuck between floors 1 and 2. Who knows though, that drop could have shook me up. No, but I'm amazed. I think, man, I look around and I'm just blown away. You know, it's there's something very special about being here, which is a reminder that obviously there's more of a commercial presence than there was probably 10 years ago, especially more than there was 30 years ago and everything. But really, when you get here, everything that is so beautiful about being here just requires nothing. It just requires you to be present. There's no, when you look around, there's no amount of money that makes this thing happen. This is just what we've already been given, And especially when you see it in people who appreciate it, it's a reminder that money can buy a comfortable life. It can't buy a good one. I look around. I look around and I try to watch as best as I can and try to be observant. So I know that there's problems and there's people who are struggling and everything, but everything that makes this place special, everything that makes the people special, everything that makes the experiences here unique are things that cannot be bought under any circumstance. You could pay for a nice room somewhere. You could pay for a private cabana. You could do all that stuff, but the actual sunset, the actual sunrise, the people that you meet if you go out and you talk to people, the sort of way of thinking that entire lifestyle, it costs nothing. It only requires that you be here, that you be present for it, Every beautiful thing, every unconventional thing, it's there's nothing you can take away from it. No matter how much money you acquire, there's nothing that can prepare you for the natural beauty, not just of a place, but of a people and all the things that surprise you when you're really present somewhere, the fact that the rooster's just gonna go whenever. It's that's insane. That's insane, because I think people come here and they think that it works the way it works in other places. There are places you can go all over the US. There are places you can go all over the world where that place is as good to be in as the amount of money you have. You can travel all around the world and I can show you a terrible time in a city and I can show you a great time in the city based on what you can afford, right? And then you come here and it's already here. That blows my mind, That's why I think so many people come here and so many people come here with a sort of expectation because maybe they've already spent the money. Maybe they've already dropped crazy money to have a true, beautiful Hawaiian experience. They're gonna have their minds blown. They're gonna see so many beautiful sights and everything. And then they get here and they see how much of it was just already here. It's just in the people. It's just in the routes you take to get somewhere. It's just in noticing, And then they leave, and that's why when they leave, they're like, oh, I could have done this oh no. What did I do?
Please make it loud for Josh Johnson!
When I was a kid, our class had a bully, and I'm just gonna call him John, right? And John, he bullied everybody in a very run-of-the-mill way. This was very standard bullying, slap the books out your hand. What's that? It was blow, right? And I think one of the reasons we let him get away with it wasn't just because he was a little bit bigger than all of us, but his voice changed first. and it changed so young, we didn't know what to do with that. Like, we didn't know that was coming for the rest of us. So then John would just walk up like, give me your homework. And I'd be like, that sounds like the devil. So because I'm not equipped with holy water today, you gonna get this math homework. Oh. And there was another kid in our class, Reeve. And Reeve, I'm not gonna say he didn't have any friends, but Reeve had friends for like 20 minutes at a time, because Reeve was one of the singular most annoying people I'd ever met in my entire life. It was almost to the level of a skill or a talent. It was absolutely insane. As an example, right? Reeve loved anime, and that's fine. I love anime too. But Reeve loved anime in a way that I didn't love anime, because I at least know anime not real. Reeve loved anime to the point where he was letting it affect how he runs. Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, he could never do anything regular. He had to do it anime every time. He could never just turn around. He had to be like, you ask Reeve a question, he doesn't know the answer. He can't just think about it. He has to go, It's like, as a fellow anime lover, I'm like, dog, chill. You making us look bad. Stop. Please. Oh. No, it was insane. And one day, we were at lunch, and Reeve was trying to make his carton of milk explode, right? You know, with his powers. And so he holding his hand over the carton of milk, not touching it, holding it over. Nothing happening because it's not real. He finally gets so tired of waiting for the powers to activate that he grabbed the milk, squeeze it, drop it, and go, I did it. No, I did it. Y'all just didn't see it when I did it. But yeah, no, I did it. Ooh, I got it. Now, when he picked it up and he crushed it, milk went everywhere. And a lot of milk just spurted out and landed all over John. And John stood up, turned around, walked up to Reeve, towering over him, and was like, you got milk on me. We gonna fight later. And never before in my young life had I been so excited for violence. Because as word spread, people were taking sides. They were like, no, John gonna kill Reeve. And we're like, no, Reeve weird. I bet you he gonna scratch him to death. Like, he has that X factor. We might be able to get rid of both of them at the same time. And so after school, we gathered around in a little circle in front of the two of them. They're about to fight, right? And John is like lumbering back and forth. And we knew John was strong, but he also, he moved slow. And he was moving slow pre-fight. He was just stalking back and forth like Mike Tyson in the early 90s, just like ready to do something terrible, right? And then on the other side of this imagined ring, Reeve is using his pre-fight time to power up. I've watched a lot of anime, and I've never seen what this child did next. Because to power up, the first thing he did was let his knees buckle. What is this? What power are you drawing from the earth right here like this? This doesn't make any sense at all. He over here, knees buckle, arms out. This is not how you power up in any anime. This is how you fall down the stairs if you a slinky. All right? And this boy here, like this, doing the power up yell. Oh! And then the fight starts, and the fight starts with Reeve attacking John, right? Coming right at him, but he coming at him in the power-up stance. So he over, And admittedly, John didn't know what to do. He really was like, And so they start fighting, and kind of what we thought was gonna happen happens. John is big, he's strong, but he telegraphs all his punches, and he's slow. Boom, but he's missing, right? And Reeves attacks. Reeves' attacks have a lot of energy to him. That's not really going anywhere. Like, instead of punching, he over here, and so he's fast enough getting out of John's way, but he's not doing any damage. And so John over here punching air, and Reeve over here throwing air. So it's not really a fight. But I really was gathered around all those people, shoulder to shoulder, watching two of them go at it like, fight, 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 fight. First time in my life. Fight, 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 fight. So when I think about Elon and Trump, right? It's like, it's like one of the most insane bouts I've ever watched take place in my life. In case you haven't heard, Elon and Trump are fighting. And it's like Christmas came early and twice. Like, the only person calling for peace is Kanye West. That's crazy. It's crazy. And we knew that this thing was bound to happen, you know? Because you have to think of who Elon is as a person and who Trump is as a person, right? And it's wild because one, richest man in the world, one, most powerful man in the world and everything, but they had a shaky alliance from the start because I don't think we gave Trump in the moment enough credit for how nice he was being to Elon. He was very nice to Elon. You know? Because Elon, weird. Wait. Elon weird, and Trump didn't say anything about it the entire time, acting like he didn't see it. Like, that's not who he is as a person. Trump is a natural bully. Like, that's what he does, you know? And he was very nice to Elon by omission. I'm not just talking about what he said, because Trump is always using superlatives if he likes you. If he likes you, you're the best, smartest, most amazing that's ever done it, right? That's how he speaks. But he was nice to Elon by what he didn't say. Because you gotta remember, Donald Trump is the same man who roasted the supreme leader of North Korea to his face. I don't know if y'all remember, it was like 2018 or something, and Kim Jong-un and him met up to have dinner and like talks and stuff like that, and there was a photographer there taking pictures of both of them before they sat down for the dinner, and Trump turned to the photographer and was like, "You making us all look nice and handsome and thin?" A lot of people think Kim Jong-un doesn't speak or understand English. He understands English. He consumes a lot of American media. And Kim Jong-un was even standing there like, did he? He know I kill people, right? Like, oh, that same guy was very nice to Elon. And he was nice to Elon by omission because Elon jumped in front of Trump. You saw the jump. The world saw the jumps. Trump invited Elon on stage, and Elon walked on stage like, man showed bottom belly in front of Donald Trump. This grown man showed full belly button, broad daylight in front of Donald Trump, and Trump said nothing. Acted like he didn't see it. Just let that dude start talking right after. That was wild. You know, Elon jumped because he was excited. And he was excited because what was about to happen had never happened before. Never before, right? Obviously, Elon, richest man in the world, and as long as there's been money infused in politics, the wealthy have had a ton of influence. That's nothing new. What was about to happen was unprecedented. This rich man was about to actually get to go in the government himself. No back channels, no liaisons. He was going to go in the government himself. He was going to end every investigation into him and his companies. He was going to fire everyone investigating. He was very excited. And I guess he was more excited than any president we've ever had because all of our presidents have kept their feet on the ground the entire time. There's no old footage of Kennedy like, it doesn't exist. There's no portrait of Thomas Jefferson like, no, get the one where he was getting air. That was... This man jumped in front of Donald Trump. Trump said nothing. Elon laughed in front of Trump. As someone who has traveled the world, and continues to travel the world making people laugh. I've heard all types of laughs. And believe me when I tell you, Elon laughed like he throwing up. Watch any interview Elon does where he makes a joke, because only he will get it, and then he starts laughing, and he's just sitting there like, you know, it's because comedy is you know, it's funny with jokes. This man laughed in front of Donald Trump. Trump said nothing. Elon danced in front of Donald Trump. Elon danced like... Elon danced like he gotta look at each body part first to give it permission to move. Like, it is truest that he'll be there. In front of Donald Trump. And Trump didn't say a word. That's like sitting Eminem down in front of a yacht going 40 knots, holding 30 thoughts who are each holding bulbs that are 20 watts, and he can't rap about it at all. That's his whole thing. It's wild that he's not saying anything. He is being very nice to Elon. I knew it wasn't gonna hold. Everybody knew it was gonna fall apart. We didn't know when, but we knew it was a short-lived alliance. And it was short-lived, in my opinion, for two reasons. All right? The first one is that you cannot ever watch someone treat everyone terribly and think that doesn't mean they'll do the same thing to you under the right conditions. You know what I mean? And I should be clear here. I'm not talking about someone who has a bad day, someone who's in a bad way at the moment. We're all human. People have bad days. I'm talking about someone who, by and large, treats people terribly, but is nice to you. It's only for right now. As soon as you're in the position the other people are in, they'll treat you the same way. And if you don't think so, you're a fool. And both of them, without exception, think that they are the exception. Oh no, I've seen him scream at everybody and, treat them like trash. It won't happen to me though. All right? One has the most money in the world. One has the most power in the world. But neither one of them have respect for anybody. And the three things that men like them seek, and I think that they seek them because maybe they're the only things that they care about, or maybe they truly believe that if they get these three or enough of them, everything else will fall into place. But men like these men are obsessed with money, power, and respect. You can have all the money in the world, you can have all the power in the world, but a lot of people conflate fear with respect. And they're not the same thing. You can be afraid of what someone could do to you with all of their money. It doesn't mean you respect them. You can be afraid of what someone can do to you with all of their power. It doesn't mean that you respect them. And you know it because as soon as the money is gone, the respect is gone. As soon as the power is gone, the respect is gone. And there are plenty of people. There are plenty of people I've known growing up in my life, men that I looked up to who did not have any money. And they didn't have any more power than enough to control themselves, but I respected them because of how they treated people, how they carried themselves. And respect is the one thing, one of many, that can't be bought and it can't be forced. And neither one of them really get that. And they don't respect anyone. So eventually this was going to come to a head. And I knew it was starting because Elon truly believes, he's even said so, that he bought Trump that election. He spent $250 to $280 million in the election. He believes, look, you lost the last one, you won this one. I'm the difference. I'm the deciding factor. I got you that election. And you're not going to convince a man like Donald Trump that you got him anything. He's like, that's my base. Those are my voters. They like me. They don't like you. You didn't get me anything. I'll gladly take your money, but you didn't get me the election. I got it myself. That was always going to be a sticking point. And so then Elon took that belief and he took it to a local race in Wisconsin, right? And he was even doing like little $1 million raffles if you vote for the person who wants you to vote for. It was very confusing how it worked. Like I didn't get it at all. And he even went to Wisconsin, was stumping for this person, was there in Wisconsin. And then the candidate that he backed lost by double digits. And it's because people see how much money he has. He's the richest man in the world, but they don't like or respect him. He hurt that candidate by being there and by doing those raffles. It would be like if someone came to you, and let's say in this scenario, you're working and you're doing all right, you're getting by, and maybe sometimes it's paycheck to paycheck, things get rough, right? But someone comes up to you and they're like, hey, you just won the lottery. And you're like, what? I didn't even enter. Don't worry, we got you. What? How much did I win? $1 billion. Going from paycheck to paycheck to $1 billion. That's crazy. And you're like, there's got to be a catch. I didn't enter any lottery. What do I have to do? And they're like, that's simple. You just have to hang out with Elon for the rest of your life. And at least based on what those people did in Wisconsin, they were like, you know what? Actually, my job at McDonald's is perfect. I really like being customer facing. I like the rapport I have with my coworkers. Just keep that money and him away from me, please. Because he could not buy the race, because as much money, don't get me wrong, $1 million, ton of money. That's a ton of money. And people have done way worse for less, but at a certain point, people reach their breaking point. And they're like, no, I have enough respect for myself. I have enough respect for my community, for my state, to not just vote this way, just for some money from a guy who I know is a bad actor, you know? And once that happened, I knew it was probably up for Elon, because he lost that race. He hurt that candidate by going there. And if there's one thing Donald Trump hates, is a loser. And you could see some of the shine wearing off of Elon. Because initially, when the administration started, they protected Elon heavy. Anybody said anything about him, anybody did anything, they were on it like that immediately. But then Elon started getting on people's nerves. You know, initially, when they won, somebody would ask a question, they'd shut it down to the media. Elon is a patriot. He's helping clear this government of waste, fraud, and abuse. You leave Elon alone. And then people started to rebel against Elon specifically through Tesla. Tesla's stock started plummeting. People stopped buying Teslas. And then people started vandalizing Teslas. They started blowing up Teslas. And then Pam Bondi came on the news and was like, if you vandalize a Tesla, we will find you. We will prosecute you. They were helping Elon a lot. Trump even turned the front of the White House into like a dealership for a day. And he had Elon there, right? They were doing their best to help Elon. But then, as you saw the months go by, they started mentioning him less. You started seeing them together less. You could tell this thing was waning. And then, how I know that they had stopped protecting him, his 130 days was up as the Doge, like, daddy or whatever. Like, I don't know what this job is. Like, depending on who you ask on what day, he's like an advisor, but he's the leader, but he's not involved. It's like, it's all very weird, but he can only do it for 130 days because as America, we only have like 3 laws left, and one of them is that you can't be in a made-up position for more than 130 days. And so it was like time. And so it was time for him to go, right? And it being time for him to go, he asked Trump if he could stay. And Trump was like, dang, man. No, we only have so many, like, bathrooms in here. Like, it wouldn't work, you know? I imagine Trump had the reaction that you would have if the worst person you know asked if they could live with you for a little while. Just like, oh, dang, my place just flooded just now. That's right when you asked me too. That's crazy. I know we're not there, but I can feel with my bed underwater. Like, it's just a thing I have. So you should probably find somewhere for both of us to stay, because I need somewhere to stay too. Find a place for both of us to stay and you just stay there. That would be great. And so Elon, shows up for his last day at work, and the president is in the Oval Office with him, honoring him, giving him a key to nowhere. And one of the ways I knew they had stopped protecting Elon is because there were like 2 publications that came out, one the day before he left Doge, one the day of, and both those publications, from like high caliber written journalism, basically said, headline contents were basically, did y'all know he was a crackhead? Like, he'd been a crackhead. That's crazy. Elon a full crackhead. I had no idea. They were listing the drugs he was doing. They're like, he does cocaine, he does mushrooms, some hallucinogens and everything, ketamine. Horses can't keep up with Elon. Like, he really out here a full crackhead. That's wild. And then, to prove the doubters, the detractors, what Elon would call the full-blown liars wrong, he showed up to the Oval Office for his last day of work, higher than his rockets go. This man was in the Oval Office standing next to the President of the United States, tweaking. This man was over hitting he looked like he arguing 5 minutes into the future. It was wild to watch. This man over. could not stop moving. At one point, the only, like, you have to watch the video, but like the only way I could describe it is he felt like a slow Michael Jackson, right? Like just, he was just over here like, it was insane. This man next to the president cracking out, and Trump said nothing. And then he left, you know. He left, and I'll admit to you right now, I thought it was like a PR stunt. I really did. I thought that he was leaving, and then he'd just keep running Doge in the background, and this would take some of the heat off of him. Now you wouldn't think of him so directly. People wouldn't attack his businesses so hard, because in the time that he entered politics to present, he's lost somewhere around like $100 billion or something like that. And it's all like a valuation thing. It goes up and down, but you could see that at least the boards of the businesses that he was on are genuinely worried, even if he doesn't care. So I thought he was gonna leave politics for a little while, keep working in the shadows. Maybe the stock would go up a little bit, but nothing would really change. And it turns out that was not the case. He had really been getting on people's nerves. Like hard. And you saw it with Trump. They used to always, be talking about Elon, mentioning him, to not mentioning him at all. And then the people that Elon had to deal with, it wasn't really Trump as much as the actual cabinet, and they couldn't stand that dude. They hated that dude so much. And so he's really out. And you hear reports, now this stuff is all hearsay, I don't know if any of it is true, but apparently he was having shouting matches with Marco Rubio all the time. All of these cabinet people that Trump got in, Elon has had a spat with most of them, right? Scott Bessent, apparently him and Elon almost got in an actual fight. Scott Bessent doesn't look like he can fight. If you... If you don't know what Scott Bessent look or sound like, just imagine if like printer paper came to life. Like and Elon was truly out. He was out, and one thing really stuck out to me. It was the fact that Elon and Trump share a sort of lived experience where they're not used to hearing no and it's sticking. No is usually an inconvenience to a yes for them. They usually get their way. And so for Elon to be told no, and then he was actually sidelined, and then things that he wanted to happen weren't happening. He wanted some dude that he recommended to be the head of NASA. Trump said no. And then there were things that Elon didn't like because he felt like, apparently, they were undercutting all his work. Like Trump's big, beautiful bill it's named the Big, Beautiful Bill because imagination. And Elon has hated that thing, I guess, for a while. Just the idea of it. It's almost universally despised. Democrats obviously hate it, and Republicans also hate it, but for different reasons. They don't care that it's like gutting, programs and whole agencies, and that we're all gonna die. They don't like it because it raises the deficit anywhere from $3 to $5 trillion, right? And so it takes about 4 or 5 days. And then Elon tweets. He's like, I can't stand it anymore. I cannot stand it anymore. This bill is a disgusting abomination. And everybody in the House that voted for it, you did wrong. Right? And Trump said nothing. I was like, Did he find God or something? Like what is happening? This is not the dude we know. He attacks those who attack him. And he's finally asked about it. He's asked about it in a press conference, and they tell him exactly what Elon said. He's like, I'm really disappointed with Elon. He knew the bill. He knew it better than some of the people that voted on it. He knew this bill, and he knew it was going to be cutting, his electric vehicle credits like that. Maybe that's what he's upset about. I have no idea. But in case you don't remember, I was very nice to him. That dude showed up with a black eye. I didn't say anything. Because he did. Elon showed up for his last day of work, high and with a black eye that Trump just fully let go. He didn't point at it, didn't motion to it, nothing. Was very chill about the black eye. And then, in the Oval Office, these are some of, not all, but some of the top journalists in America. Obviously, they have questions for Elon of what his plans are. Now that he's leaving Doge, he's going to spend all his time on his companies. They have plans to ask Trump questions about what he's going to do with Doge now that Elon is gone. What's the future of it, right? But these top journalists, the first question that I at least saw them ask was, what's wrong with your eye? Like, that's... Nobody gonna say nothing? Like, his eye. And then Elon was like, it's actually like a funny story. I asked my 5-year-old, my 5-year-old little ex, I told him to punch me with Ralph Hussein. I told him to punch me, and he punched me. I got a black eye. It was actually, he's strong for a 5-year-old. It's kind of funny. Elon said he had a black eye because his 5-year-old punched him. That's a crackhead story if I ever heard one. That is a full crackhead lie. You must have the most synthetic skin known to man if this 5-year-old is out here dodging and giving black eyes. No. And so Trump was like, look, maybe we'll go on to have a great relationship. Maybe we won't, because that's the thing. People come in here with us, they like being here, and then when it's time to go, they either embrace it or they lose their minds. You can tell who broke up with who by how people move after a breakup. You know what I mean? Because while Trump is talking, Elon is tweeting. He's tweeting, and it's a lot. This dude goes all the way back to Trump's old tweets from like 2013, 2015, where he's like, I can't believe what they're doing with the spending bill. This is such irresponsible spending. If you have this much of a deficit, you won't have a country. And he's going back and showing all these old tweets, and he's quote tweeting them like wise words. Once again, you can tell who broke up with who, because for you to scroll back to 2013, you hurt. You are mad. You know how much his thumbs must be exhausted. 2013 tweets. Trump was tweeting 272 times a day, and he made it all the way back to 2013, which means he read them all. He hurt. So he hitting them with the 2013 "this you" text, like, that's crazy. That was insane. And he keeps tweeting. He's getting madder and madder. I don't even know what's happening in the background, but he is tweeting himself down a tunnel, because every time he tweets, Tesla stock drops by like $13 billion. It's just going down and down and down and down. And he's tweeting up a storm, right? He even tweets out, he's like, you wouldn't have won without me. Okay, if it hadn't been for me, Republicans wouldn't have won the House. The Dems would be in the House. The Dems would have the White House, and you'd have a slim majority in the Senate. You ungrateful. Keeps tweeting, keeps tweeting, keeps tweeting. getting more and more upset. I don't know what's happening in the background, but this man is getting more and more pissed off. He even tweets, every single one of you Republican senators who votes for this bill will be voted out next term, all right? I will put money behind it, okay? He over here, honestly, Eli over here talking like he one of the people or something. Like, I was like, what is happening right now? What do you mean, we, dog? Like, make me uncomfortable. But he says it, and then he said, oh, he's getting madder and madder and madder. And then he tweets out threatening Republicans specifically. He's like, look, here's the deal. Trump's gonna be the president for 3.5 more years. I'm gonna be around for 40. That must have sent chills down your spine if you were a Republican senator, any Congress. But Trump is gonna be president for 3.5 more years. I'll be around for 40. You could hear the threat in it when you read it. Trump is gonna be president 3.5 more years. I will be around for 40. And I was sitting in my room like, not on crack, like not on crack. Like that's not, you must not know what crack is. Like that's not nutritious at all. The crack is not good for you. You should not have crack. Be around for 40. All right. Oh, it's insane. And then Trump finally tweets. He's had enough. And you can tell he's had enough because we know the type of man Trump is. We know the type of figure he is, the type of president he is. He's had enough of this, and he's been holding back. He's been very nice to Elon. I'm sure in his head he was like, I've been very, very nice to this dude. Elon acts and moves like he snuck into a body. And Trump didn't say anything. Trump is over here like, I didn't mention the jumping, the laughing, anything. This man blew crack smoke on my shoulder, and I was very nice to him. And so then Trump tweets out, he's like, hey, yo, one of the easiest ways for us to save billions and billions and billions of dollars, just get rid of all of Musk's government contracts. That would do it quick. And then Democrats were like, do you mean it? Or like, are you just mad or you mean it? All right, I was just asking. Okay. And then Elon tweets this clip that is him and Trump in front of a Tesla in front of the White House, and the quote for the tweet just says, remember when? I was like, oh, he hurt. Oh, he must be sick right now. I've been broken up with most of my life, but I've never hit somebody with a remember when. So crazy. Remember when? And then Musk tweets again. He's like, hey, since Trump wants to threaten my government contracts, how about SpaceX just goes ahead and disassembles Dragon whatever ship right now? And that would be all well and good, except there are 4 astronauts in the International Space Station right now that are probably floating like, what did we do? Like that's, I'm not in this at all. Because they're mad, furious, going at each other, you know? And then, I don't know what pulls the trigger, you know? Trump tweeted one more time, and it still felt very reserved. It felt very nice. He was like, look, I don't care if Elon turns against me. I want the big, beautiful bill passed. He could just deal with it. Let's get this legislation done, right? And then Elon tweets out, all right, time to drop the big bomb. Trump is in the Epstein files. That's why they haven't come out yet. Have a nice day, DJT. can tell who broke up with who, because the person that gets broken up with is the one that tries to ruin your life and tells you have a nice day in like the same breath. Oh, that's crazy. That's gonna be a hard one to dig yourself out of, because Epstein is like the burrowing ground. It is the conspiracy 101, right? So many people had podcasts, had hours of content going over Epstein, talking about who might be involved, who's in the Epstein files, who's in the Epstein log, his little black book, all that stuff, going over and over and over it, getting people really feverish over it. And then some of those same people, because of who they are and because who they're connected to, they get in office. They get into government office through Trump, right? That was a mistake, because even the hardcore conspiracy theorists knew. When Elon tweeted that out, Trump is in the Epstein files. That's why they haven't come out yet. Almost right underneath is Alex Jones saying, "God help us all." Elon done got Alex Jones press. Because where do you go from here truly, you know? Where do you go? Because those same people who were talking about, if they just let me in a room full of files, I'd find the Epstein files in 5 minutes. Just let me in the room. And now you're in the FBI. And so when people ask you, what's up? And you're like, actually, it's nothing. Like, don't worry about it. Nothing happened. Just go back to what you were doing. It's not. That does not sound real. I'm not saying anything else is even going on. I'm saying what you have stoked makes it impossible to stomp out. There will never be enough information coming out. There will never be enough stuff uncovered. There'll never be enough files released. You know, they tried initially. They tried. They were like, "Hey, we're releasing the Epstein file." They even made it like, you know, like a Fox News event. Epstein files coming out 9 p.m. tonight, right? And when they released it to a lot of these like blue check conspiracy theorists, Twitter influence. I don't even know what it's called, but they released it to them. And those people were on fire. Those people were pissed. Because when they actually opened it and they read it, because they meant it. These are true believers, by the way. These aren't people that are like part of the grift. They're reading it and they realize that everything in these things has already been released already. There's no new information in these things. In fact, they did such a bad job of trying to make it look real that they redacted stuff that was already public. And that was, for that conspiracy theory group, very weird. That was very, very weird, you know? And so that was already strike one. And now Elon's saying this, that's strike two. Because it's not like that's new information. We knew that Trump was involved with Epstein. There's literally video of them partying together and stuff like that, like on MSNBC from 1992. Like, that's not news or anything. But when you're a conspiracy theorist and nothing is enough, you know? And so then in the background, people are trying to chill this thing out. There are White House aides, there's Elon's assistants trying to get these two to mediate, not make it any worse than it is right now. You know? And as of the time I'm talking, there's a lot of stuff that Elon's taken down, like tweets that he took down. And even Trump is trying to be very nice to Elon. They asked him his first interview since all this happened. And he's like, "Look, I don't know. I'm just trying to run the country. I wish him well and everything. I don't know anything about his drug habit and him being a full-on crackhead. That's not any of my business," right? So publicly, he's putting on a very good face. He's trying to be very professional, very presidential. And apparently, rumor has it, privately, he is calling everybody he knows, like, "You know you're a crackhead, right?" Like, no, he blew the smoke right on my back. I had to get my suit cleaned. And look, I'm not saying that this is the end of either of them. I don't know if they'll reconcile. I don't think that's even possible. I just know it's the first time that I'm standing shoulder to shoulder with a bunch of people, watching two people go at it like fight, 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 fight. Yo, Detroit, y'all been amazing. Thank you so much.
Mira, 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 mira.